Good morning, my friends. This is July 25th. Would you believe there are only 5 months until Christmas Day? I can't. The year is going by very quickly. I'm standing behind the screen. I'm standing in my screen porch. The mosquitoes are so intense out there. Uh, I just was making a video and it did not take. It was like 17 minutes, and I thought, oh, okay. Well, I guess that was an omen that I either need to move faster or or you guys won't watch. But anyway, I'm going to chance it and take you out in the back porch, in the backyard, and we can see just what's going on back there. Let's just get myself back outside. Give you a quick view of the back porch. It's a little messy right now with my worms and all my products that I'm setting up. I did some harvesting, but let's just take you to the backyard and we'll see what's going on back here. So going the other way, I normally do it one way, I'll do it the other way. This is a stand of my tea plants, and that's TI. Cordylan is the other name for it. And you can see that I've got plumeria over here, just a small one. I think there's a little guy right down there that was just, I break off branches that are a foot and a half and stick them in the ground. And then I have new starts. And this is a mango. This is the Adolfo mango that was only, it was probably about 6 inches high whenever I planted it. And it's now taller than me. It's about 6 feet tall. Down below that are my amaryllis. I probably have a good 100 of them throughout the yard. And as long as their leaves are up like this, where, the blossom was beautiful, I let the blossom dry out and the stem dry out, and I cut that off. But as long as these leaves are perky like this, then I will go ahead and leave them. But now if they start to get like the one over here, you can see that is, there you go, you can see it hanging over. Well, that's not good. That's going to start to rot inside, and it'll rot the bulb, and we don't want that. And then you can see further on down, all of those are nice and standing up and strong looking. So that's really the way you want to leave them if you're going to try and leave them in the ground or in a pot. As long as they're standing up on their own, then they're getting photosynthesis, the bulb is growing larger, or the bulb is starting to send off a side shoot, and then it'll have a baby, and then it'll multiply. So let's go back to regular, and that's the crepe myrtle, and you can see that it's still blooming up there. And this is the one that was just a shoot off the side of my crepe myrtle that's in the front yard. And it's probably close to 10 feet high now. And when we cut it back, we don't cut it back quite as severely as we do the one in the front yard. And then scooting by here, I'm on the other side of the Juicy Fruit Island here. This is let me just pull that peach branch down. That's the Florida maple tree. It's a red maple, and it never really gets red. But behind that is a moringa tree that started from seed. This is only the second year for it, and that's probably about 18 feet high, I would guess. I have started cutting it back, and then I just kind of left it go, and I mean, it's gotten out of hand. They need to be kept at about 5 feet, 6 feet, and then eat the leaves or do whatever you're going to do with the leaves and the small branches. This is another, it's a raspberry crepe myrtle, and it blooms really pretty. It's just finished blooming. And let me just take you to the other side of this peach tree, and I'm going to walk you down here because I wanted to show you the Brazilian spinach. I totally pulled it out, eradicated it. Do I have any growing here. Oh, I thought I did. I guess I don't. I have it on the, oh, here it is. This grew up just from the, everything was pulled, and it's starting all over again. And they're interesting little leaves, and you just cook them down, or you could eat them raw, put them in your smoothie, what have you. They're very good. If you can get some seeds, I have yet to see the seed. It has, it was probably, well, it was front to back, and then from here over to the other side, and the same on the other side of this crepe myrtle, and it came from just like a little 2-inch piece. So it's a very prolific grower. Here's my other mango, and that's probably my height, it's about 5.5 feet. And both of these came from a seed. Adolfo is the variety, and it was 2 years ago. I just got a notice on Facebook showing that it was 2 years that I was planting it, so I thought that was kind of interesting. More amaryllis. These are potato slips that have, the vines have just grown and grown. And funny thing, this one here is crepe myrtle, and I had cut off the branches to use as a trellis to make just a vine, and darn if the thing didn't root. And now I have another crepe myrtle here that's I'm not sure I really want a crepe myrtle here, but it certainly does keep my yard more shading than I ever had before. I know that whenever I go through and I dig these up, I'm going to have sweet potatoes underneath these grow bags. This is my first year for grow bags, and kind of a mixed bag here, so to speak, if you chuckle there. I had tomatoes in here, and you know, I guess when you think that you couldn't lift that in a pot, a big clay pot, but you might be able to lift it with just the bag and the dirt, the soil. But you know, it was okay. It was fun to try, and Rick bought them for me as a birthday gift, and so you know, I'll grow something else in there. You can see there's more sweet potato vines. Coleus are almost a weed to us here in Florida. You pull them out and you cut them back, and seeds will drop and they'll just keep growing. Agapanthus is back behind there. Liriope is in the front, and those are just the bones of the yard. They stay. My compost pile, I've been sifting it and using it a little bit in Juicy Fruit Island, and but that's a cold compost, so when you see weeds in there, you know it's because it's a cold compost, and it never gets really hot enough to kill anything. More tea plants. This is the big boy, moringa. It's taller than the house, and again, that one needs to be cut back. It froze the first year that I put it in, and I cut it back to here, and I got side shoots. This is only the second spring for it, third spring for it. I planted some peppers from a pepper plant that I bought at the grocery store. I'm sorry, from a red pepper that I bought at the grocery store. I had seeds, and I've gotten a couple peppers off of it. You can see there's one little shiny guy right there. So hopefully that will make it. I don't think I see any others. Caladiums. They come back for me each year. I planted a couple hundred bulbs a few years back, and they're thinning out a little less each time. So and I don't want to stand in the sun, but let me come back this way. Oops. The moringa is taking over. Oh, I wanted to show you the moringa. This is such a pretty leaf. Isn't that pretty? I showed you it drying on the table. And I'm getting few leaves, but few yellow leaves, but you know, it really doesn't matter. And when you taste it, here, let me taste it now. I want to say it has a moringa flavor. It has a little bit of bite to it. Uh, when you dry it, it has a little bit different flavor. I can't say that I think it's actually good. You know, it's not a tasty. Yeah, I think you have to tell yourself that it's good for you. Um, Very much like maybe the first time you ever tried broccoli, and you said, "Oh, not sure I like that," or the first time you ever tried spinach, and you went, "I'm not sure about that." But you kind of acquire taste for certain things, and the idea that these are very good healthy foods and you can incorporate it in something else, that's all it takes, is to know that you're eating healthy. So anyway, as we turn the corner, we've got plumeria here back behind this is my bedroom window right here, and the plumeria has grown up so much that it really, in the mornings, it gives a great shade here, and casts, when it comes over, it casts different shadows and lights. It's kind of pretty. Juicy Fruit Island. This is a brown turkey fig. It has not ever given me any fruit. This is the biggest it's ever gotten, and in the winter it dies back down to, you know, a stick. This is the first time it's ever gotten quite this big, so I'm hoping that it's just acclimated to the soil and it's going to do okay. I have probably about 10 or 11 moringa plants. I planted some sunflowers that, I don't know, we've had a lot of storms, and a lot of them have just gotten knocked over, and they don't seem like the stem is quite hardy enough to handle the top being heavy. Some marigolds, some of them are volunteers and some of them I planted. This is a peach tree that I planted 3 years ago. I had not, well, actually it's 2.5. This is a Florida Prince peach, and I was hoping to see at least some blossoms this year, and I haven't seen any. So I was told, though, that when you cut your, how do I want to say it? When you prune it, be aware that whatever you're pruning off, you're not going to get anything back on it that year. It would be till the next year. So if, you know, like I had taken something off of here last year, then even though it's growing a stem coming down, that I wouldn't get anything off of it this year. It wouldn't be until next year. So I hope I made that clear. I have, like I said, about a dozen or so moringas. Moringas you can grow in, I think, zones 8 through 11, 12, what's the highest. And they are really high in vitamins. They're really good for you. There's protein in it. Also, all sorts of, it's like the miracle plant. And I can grow it here year round unless we have a freeze, and then during the freeze, then it will freeze back. But because we don't get a hard freeze, I mean, for us, if it goes down to 32, it's down to 32 for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And my yard, because it's so covered and protected, I very seldom I get to that point. I'll be at 34. So it's kind of like a little microclimate. Back down to that end, there's the plumeria. There's still some blooms up there. I'm still walking around and picking up ones and bringing them in the house. My cordyceps, my tea plants down there at the end. I planted spathiphyllum underneath. That's peace lily, and they like that shade. Even you can see, I mean, the sun is almost coming. It's about 10:30, so a couple more hours and it'll be right overhead, but this will stay partially shaded, you know, kind of like dappled lighting. My hibiscus, I have two of those, one at this end and one at the other. And then the agapanthus that I always show you guys with great pride, that I have these gorgeous, it's called a Blue Nile, and they're normally just stunning. It's finished blooming. And the reason it finished blooming quite so early is because I had, I kind of had rogue tomato plants. They were the Everglades tomatoes, and they got in here, and you know, I had like 2 plants in here, and they came up. I even had to put a shepherd's hook, you know, a planter hook here to try and hold it up. But the Everglades tomatoes, like in my front yard, just completely took over this whole plant, and I had little red berries everywhere. And I just couldn't. I thought, well, sorry, Aggie, Mrs. Agapanthus. I couldn't rip out the tomato plant. So, and then down this way is this is a Chicago cold hardy fig. I've got one down there as well, and I have not gotten any, I haven't gotten any fruit off of it. But this is really its first, I put these in, let's see, when did I plant them? I want to say real early in the year, January, February. I had them in pots and I put them in here, and so this is kind of like their first year, and that's really about it. I just oh, I'm sorry, this is my my Asian pear, and you know, I got 3 from Bottom's Nursery. 2 came originally, and their roots were just girdled. I mean, they were bare root, but they came and they were just in a circle. And as deep as I planted them, and as long as I tried to, the first one died back, and so I contacted them, and they sent me another one, and this one was the replacement, and I planted it. It wasn't quite as girdled, and then the second one that was girdled was down at the other end where the fig is now, and it just slowly died. So I didn't want to complain and say, you know, I mean, I'm afraid that's it for me. I won't buy from them again, but I'm not having really great luck with buying online, or you know, somebody else recommended this particular nursery, and so I went ahead and bought from them. But he's right up there in Georgia, and I don't know, maybe he had better luck with it. But anyway, this is a 20th century Asian pear. It's supposed to have those big juicy pears. It's now a year and 4 months old, so I'm really not expecting it. You know, what is it? The first year they stall, the second year they crawl, and the third year they go crazy. I don't know. It's a rhyme, and I can't think of what it is. But so maybe by next year. I did get a blossom. I did see a blossom on it. It's a real pretty little purple blossom. So anyway, my friends, that's about it from my house to yours, I hope. And we are going away for our 50th wedding anniversary, which is on Thursday. And so we're going to go away for a few days. And Rick likes Amelia Island. He likes to go to the beach. So I will, that's what I can give him. I don't know what he's going to give me other than maybe peace and quiet. So anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you'll come back and see me again sometime. And remember, garden what you've got. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.